Okay. We welcome you to a meeting of the Buchanan Community Schools Board of Education. All regular meetings have been posted on our district website, in our central office, and in each school building. Tonight's agenda has been posted on our website and emailed out to the board community subscription. Our school board members received the agenda and all supporting documents for reports and action items several days prior to this meeting, so they can review information, prepare questions or comments, and are ready to participate fully in the discussions and votes that encompass the duties of their office. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school's district and is not considered a public community meeting. The Buchanan Community Schools Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on district matters as indicated during the public comment portion of the agenda. We request that each interested participant complete and turn in a public comment card to ensure responses can be appropriately addressed. Thank you for your support of Buchanan Community Schools. And we will go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. If we can start with roll call, please.
Mr. Carlson.
Here.
Ms. Brackett.
Here.
Mr. Brown, absent. Ms. Lesh here. Dr. Carlin.
Here.
Dr. Burnett.
Here.
And Ms. Berry.
Here. Next, we have our adoption of the agenda.
I make a motion the agenda for the regular board meeting of May 18, 2026 be adopted as written.
Support.
Questions or comments? Or go ahead with roll call.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Ms. Brackett.
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin.
Yes.
Dr. Burnett.
Yes.
And Ms. Berry.
Yes. All right, next we have our recognition of visitors, and we have quite a few of you here, so nice to see so many faces. Thank you. And we'll move on to our points of pride.
It was like I tore my sheet off.
Oh, there it is.
All right, so the Buck Staff Appreciation May nominees were Amanda Gamzo, Amber Kepler, Hillary Casey, and I will read the winner for May. It says, Amanda has been a huge asset to our team. When our two most senior BMS kitchen staff members had to go out on extended medical leave, she jumped in to fill the gap. She has shown great initiative and flexibility and has been a huge part of keeping the BMS kitchen moving smoothly. I truly appreciate her for all her efforts. Ms. Kaltenbach, and then it says, on behalf of the Board of Education and Administration of Buchanan Community Schools, we thank you for your service and encourage you to keep up the great level of achievement and service to our district. Congratulations. You're welcome. Thank you. Oh.
All right, congratulations. Next, we have the ribbon cutting and dedication of the Ryan A. Tucker baseball field.
Yes, that was one exciting day. Many of you were there and able to join in the celebration. Again, it was a wonderful event. The baseball field was open. The Tuckers were there. They've kind of spearheaded the whole project. Just a little bit of reminiscence from one of the baseball team that was there. We saw a Letterman jacket as well. It was a really exciting event. Lots of food, too, for the community to come out and share. So we are grateful for the donation, grateful for the Tuckers that led this endeavor, and just grateful for our teams that will be able to put on it for a very long time.
All right, next we have the graduating class of 26.
Yeah, so the graduation is Thursday at 7 p.m. out here on Memorial Field. I know Mr. Pruitt is here. He'll be able to talk a little bit more about that. They're also on the agenda for the board to approve the graduating class. So just another exciting event. As always, we're excited to see the accomplishments come to an end here at the high school and then ready for our students to take on their next endeavor. And then
Keep
the
going.
year-end celebration. So each year, our staff, principals, and our department heads get a chance to point out some things that they've done throughout the year, and we call them our points of pride, our end of the year celebration. This is a long list of points of pride. You probably have those out there in your agendas. If not, I want to point out just a few from some of the principals and department leads. I'll skip over the high schools because I know Mr. Pruitt is going to do his presentation tonight. From Ottawa, I want to highlight the Teddy Bear Clinic. They collaborated with the CTE Sports Medicine Program, where they came into the school, into the preschool class, and repaired some of their teddy bears. So they brought in x-ray machines and bandages, and it was a really cute event. And so much it was successful that they're going to actually extend it to kindergarten for next year. As well as our first grade students formed a Science Olympiad team that participated at Lake Michigan College in April. I know our high school Science Olympiad leaders would like to hear that. And from Moccasin, on the 2025 Math M-Step, our third grade students finished in the top 6 in our county for math, and our fourth grade students finished 6th in the county for M-Step ELA. So we're highlighting some of those accomplishments academically. Also, Moccasin organized their annual Bike to School Day. This was the first time they did that, and it was a success, I think, a couple weeks ago. From the middle school, highlighting one of their stellar 7th grade students who broke the school record for the math NWEA test. The score was 272, which is 48 points higher than the grade level norm. So excited about that. Like I said, I'll skip over the high school highlights. Mr. Pruitt is here. I do want to highlight, it's not on here, but the Buchanan virtual program was removed from the CSI list. So the Comprehensive Support and Improvement List, which is a feat in of itself. It's not usual that a virtual program actually gets on this list of supports and then actually get off. So we're excited about that. The Special Education Department hosted their transition meeting this year, where there were transition meetings for 37 students with IEPs who are moving in between buildings. Special students in our ECSE classrooms going to kindergarten, students in grades 1 to 2, 4, 5, and 7 and 8. We're excited about that. That was the first time it kind of happened that coordinated. Also, this summer, we have 10 folks who are 10 paraprofessionals who have been signed up for the TCIS training. That'll be at the end of July. Brian, are you going to talk about the high school athletic areas? Okay, so then I can. Okay, so the high school baseball field, I just talked about that. That was fully donated by a private donor. And then the 2024 water damage allowed us to update our competition gym. And then this past fall, we welcomed our athletic trainer, which has been a huge benefit of having a full-time athletic trainer here. Within our food service department, I know she doesn't have it on here, but of course she did 475 meals at the Empty Bowls supper, which that money goes to RAM. Also starting the snacks, provided free after-school snacks for the high school, middle school, and then the Boys and Girls Club students as well. And then I know she did not have it on here, but she started what is the refrigerator outside called? Yeah, the freezer. What is the name of it? It's a nice little.
It's just the food that's left over
It's
Yeah.
grab and go. She had a nice little name to it. However, I can't remember the name.
What is it?
No waste, full plate.
No
Yeah,
waste,
that's
full
right.
place, yes. And so we see the food in there, but we also actually see kids actually taking it. So we are probably one of very few schools who are able to offer that. So excited about that. I know she didn't want a lot of publicity about it, but we were excited that she was there. And she actually got a grant for that, so that's exciting. From the district nurse, she held the first annual Buchanan High School Senior CPR. So all of our, and I think you were there as well, all of our seniors went through and received CPR and cardiac arrest education. That's exciting, so we'll be able to continue that. From our operations department, we were able to replace all drinking fountains with new filtered bottled water filter units. That was actually courtesy of a grant that we applied for and was able to receive. And in transportation, we received a propane bus, and which was also through another grant. So lots of things that are happening in our school district. So, and then we'll have our year-end review booklet that'll be coming out sometime in May or June, and then at that time, I'll give you an update regarding that as well.
Is that all?
I can go on.
No, thank you. It's nice to reflect back on some of the things that we've learned about throughout the year, so thank you. Moving on, superintendent and department reports, the board updates.
Yep, and those reports are from our building administrators and our department leads, and each month our board receives an update from our building principals as well as the department leads. Lots of information in those just to keep our board updated.
I was gonna say I had two that were my favorites, and that was the teddy bear clinic and the freezer. So, so you covered them, but they were very, very neat reports that were presented to us.
All right, we're going to move into, we have a few presentations tonight, starting with the 2026 close-up trip.
Thank you for having us. Just wanted to take a couple of minutes to offer our thanks for allowing this program to continue. It started in 1982. We've done it every year except for the COVID years, so it's a long time running. We want to celebrate these young ladies for all the hard work that they did to get to Washington, D.C., and they want to share some of their experiences and hopefully keep this program running well into the future.
Hi, thank you for having us. This year we went to DC, and I would like to show you our slideshow. Next slide, please.
Next slide.
Oh,
Is there a clicker up there?
Oh, yep.
You can do it.
Okay. This is an overview of our first day. First, we went to a lot of memorials, and we went to the Roosevelt Memorial and the Franklin Memorial too, and it was a lot of fun. We learned so much there. And then you can see one of the buildings in the back where we are all standing is we had a class discussion, and it was very fascinating to learn about all the different things. And just beyond our picture is a protest happening, a peaceful protest, and they were discussing about college and the funding behind it.
This was still on the first day, but we went to the Museum of the American Indian, and also we observed the cherry blossoms that were in full bloom when we were there. And then we also went to the MLK Memorial, which was really cool.
Hi, so on the next day, I believe it's Tuesday now, we visited the Washington DC monument from a distance, and we got to see like a whole bunch of things. We went to see the Abraham Lincoln Memorial, the World War II Memorial, and the Vietnam War Memorial.
This one is the Vietnam War. It was very interesting to see all the names and learn the history behind everyone who was there and see how many people go there and appreciate the history of our country. and there was a ton of statues, like a lot. It was very interesting. And not included in one of these pictures, but we also got to see the Korean War Memorial, which was very cool. Like, it showed a lot of history that I personally didn't know about. So, very interesting.
This is a couple pictures with us at the Capitol Hill, and there you can see one of our Congress members. And then on the bottom right is a picture of us at the movies, or at the theater. We had just seen Beauty and the Beast, and it was a wonderful and very, very beautiful play.
This is some more pictures from the Capitol building where we got to meet some of our senators and congressmen. My personal favorite part was meeting Senator Slotkin and being able to talk about her different ideas and how she includes bicameral legislature into like different parts of it.
Sorry. This was Thursday. This was kind of our free day. We got to just go around and see DC, and here we went to the Holocaust Museum. It was very interesting to learn the history behind it and see how we can, learn from history and not repeat it. So that was really cool to see.
So I think definitely the Holocaust Museum was my favorite. I got to learn a lot about different people, what went on, how everything ended up. And in the picture to the left, we got to see the Washington, D.C. monument. We did get to go up to it, but we just got a farther away picture to get it all in. And to the far right is the picture of majority of the people who were victims of the Holocaust. And in some of the rooms, who had like actual family still alive, had like their own little section talking about who they were, what their family was, and it was very cool.
This is Friday. This was a little side quest. And we went to go see the changing of the guards, which was really cool. And it was really fascinating to see how disciplined they were when we went up and watched them change, because we took the 15 minutes that it does take. And the steps and the discipline that it does take, it was very impressive.
These are some more pictures from Arlington where we saw some presidents' graves, I believe, which is pretty cool. And then also the flight home, which was an eventful trip to say the least. There was quite a few delays.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ladies, I have a question for you. So if there is someone who's like thinking about going but really don't want to go, what would you say to them to kind of get them to say, okay, I'm going?
Probably like if you are interested in anything political. So for this trip, it was very like eye-opening for me, like getting a better understanding of like what I want to go into, and it just shows you how like everyone operates there. So learning like the different, I would guess, culture that they have there, it's very, very different from where we are, and it shows you just how much they care about our history. So that's definitely.
Yeah, I really liked it. Being 17, like you're about to vote, it's pretty scary.
Yes.
So it definitely was very eye-opening to kind of see how the process works. We did a mock Congress, which was really cool. So we each were in our own little committees, and then we had proposed bills, and then we had floor debate. So we were able to kind of see how laws are put up and know, like, oh, this is what we're voting on, this is what they're doing, so we know what we're voting for.
We also got to see a lot of new perspective from different schools, because we were one of like 20 schools that were there. So we got to see what other students thought about what they would like in their own towns and cities.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I have one question too. And I'm going to pick on Lily because I know you. Thursday, you had your free day, and you said you went to the Holocaust Museum, and everybody seemed to like that. Did you guys decide to go there, or was Mr. Wagner choose that for you?
Yeah, we decided to go there on our own. We went to, I don't remember what it's called. It's like where all the museums are. We went there and we couldn't go to the Holocaust Museum because of how long of a museum it is, which was one that we all really wanted to see. So we ended up going there on our free day so we could kind of get a better view of that.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
What's the most impactful thing you guys saw in DC, and how did you feel about it?
I know, me personally, it was definitely the Holocaust Museum, just getting to, like, know history a little better. But then again, the mock Congress was, like, so interesting to see how everything is, like, behind the scenes, how it's all put together, and what comes out of it.
Okay. So who's going into politics? Okay, all right. Okay, thank you.
Who's still gonna go into politics? There you go.
All right, good deal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, girls.
Yeah. No, we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a freshman looking forward to going, so I also hope it continues for many more years. All right, thank you. One of my favorite days is listening to that trip, and I also, I know Mr. Wagner didn't talk about it this year, but how he lets them kind of, I think Chris was getting to this, lets them run the day and make the decisions and all of that, so love to hear it.
I think it's a good opportunity for our students that we have a lot of kids that go on this trip that don't go, you know, and I think Josh has seen that over the years. Kids that don't go anywhere else, right, that get to go on this trip, gives them some freedom in a fairly safe city, and a good experience to move on to whatever they're going to do as an adult to experience that.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Mr. Pruitt, the BHS principal.
Thank you, everybody. I was just thinking as Jake was asking his question, he's thinking, how many concession stands is he going to have to work to raise money for the twins to be able to go? That was on his mind. I saw that. So it's always great to come after, I know they're gone, but to come after our kids who are just learn so much from K through wherever. I mean, most of those girls are juniors, I mean, they're juniors, but K through 12, from all of our different staff that are here and just how they grow over the years and just the experiences they get. So it's always fun to come after them. So tonight, every year we do different things with presentations. I have nothing on the screen. You're going to have to look at me or wherever. Do different things, different programs we're doing or just different initiatives. This year, I decided we're just going to talk about really the last couple of days that we've had for seniors. And I'm doing that really because we always talk about all these different things, but really the best part for seniors, and kind of stinks in a little bit of a way, it's the end, because it's all the good stuff at the end that kind of brings it all together, but we don't really talk about it much because it happens and then it's gone. And then unless you have a kid, you're probably not at honors convocation, so you don't know what all happens. And I mean, I know you're at graduation, but there's a lot going on there too, so I just kind of wanted to entertain you guys with a little bit like where our kids are going and some of the money they got, and just the things they've done and what was kind of awarded in the last couple of days. So first I wanted to start off by just saying, if you didn't see our decision day we had was it last week? It's gone so fast. Decision day last week, Mr. Flowers, Mr. Ryan, Mrs. Fierro put together an amazing thing. And we used to have a college and career advisor who really organized the whole thing, came with grants for prizes, all this good stuff. Well, that has gone away. And so it's really just those three putting on the show. I think Mrs. Fierro actually ended up loving being able, if anybody was here that got to see her, I think she loved being in front of the mic and just had a blast with it. But I wanted to kind of share you where our kids are going. So we have one going to the School of Art Institute of Chicago, one at Central, one at Cornerstone, one at the Douglas J. Institute, 2 Twin City Beauty College, 1 Vogue Beauty College, 1 at Ferris, 1 at Full Sail in Florida, 1 at Grand Canyon out in Arizona, a Holy Cross Notre Dame, 6 at Grand Valley, 1 at IU, 1 at IU South Bend, 9 at LMC, 1 going to the Police Academy, 1 at Wayne State, 5 at Western, 10 going straight to the workforce, 4 foreign exchange returning home that were seniors, 7 at MSU, 1 U of M Flint, 1 U of M, 4 in the military, 1 Muskegon Community College, 1 Olivet, 3 St. Mary's, 10 SMC, and 11 going into the trades. That's if I have it correct, every kid accounted for except for 1 who refused to tell us every time we asked him, sweet talked him. He just would not tell us where he was going or what he's doing. I'm sure it'll be great, but that was every kid. So we've got people all over the place. That's 3 different beauty colleges, 4 in the military, 11 in trades, 20 different colleges, say 1 into law enforcement, 10 into the workforce. Our highest numbers were 10 at SMC, 9 at LMC, and 7 at MSU. So we kind of have them all over, and it's great to see just all these different things going on. And when you go back to that decision day, we also have a raffle, which, again, that came with a grant. And so we had prizes with it. And so they kind of freaked out a little bit this year, like, what are we going to do? And so we are just lucky we have the staff in this district and people in this community that stepped up. The group in the student services organized like an Amazon wish list, and next thing you know, we sent it out and it was gone. And then
you shared it with us and it
yeah,
was gone.
it was gone.
Which was
and
amazing.
Then we had people buying extra things, and it just kind of blew up. And so it was great, and we really appreciate that. I don't know if that's what will continue in the future, if there's grants out there, but it was one of our best decision days we've had. So we really appreciate all the staff and the community in this district that really helped us out there. So that was that. Next, I'm going to talk about last night. Last night was 2 hours and 10 minutes. A couple of you might have been there, but it was a great honors convocation. We had over 1.2 million awarded to our students, but that's just through the Gateway scholarships. So if you've never been to honors convocation, Gateway scholarships are the ones that usually are organized by Mike Rowland, who's in charge of the Gateway, and there are a lot of them, and it includes the Promise, but there are still a ton more that go out. So, I mean, if you really think about, and I might say this again at the end if I wrote it down, but if you really think about the Gateway scholarships, the extra scholarships that are given out, and then the college scholarships that kids receive, we're probably pushing close to $2 million that our kids received last night. And yeah, we'll talk about it later, but it's pretty amazing. So tying into that, I was just going to give off some of these numbers. I wasn't going to say all the names, but some of the numbers of these different scholarships. And I won't go over them all, but just through the Gateway alone, we had scholarships ranging from $1,250, we had $1,000, we had several kids getting $1,000 scholarships, $500, $1,500, lots in that range. We had 750s, 1250s, some in the 2s, 250s, but then we had some bigger ones. We had ones where kids were getting up to $4,000. We had kids getting $2,000. We had one that only happens every, is it 6 years? 4 years, the $6,000 scholarship. It was amazing to see all these different Gateway scholarships that were given out. We actually had 64 students receive the Promise this year, so we're in the high 80s for our graduating class, but take away the foreign exchange that are part of that walking. So we have a lot of kids that got the Promise. So it was just great to see all that. And some of these are renewable, and I know my daughter alone, the Gateway staff said, hey, you're on top of it, because Evan was one of the first ones that got in there and renewed her scholarships and everything, took care of it, because I kept getting honors. I said, don't forget, we don't want to lose this money. So it's just, as long as these kids follow what the people tell them, they're making out. So that was just that. Then we had scholarships that just come from the community that aren't Gateway related. Like we started a new one last night. I don't know how much was given, but there was the new Busby Student Athlete Scholarship. 4 students received that. I didn't hear the winnings. One thing that we did notice last night, and I don't know if Trish and Katie, you noticed, in the past, people would always announce what kids got. So Katie, your daughter might have gotten something, and you're like, I have no clue what she got. And so we're going to make sure, because in the past, everybody would announce those, even though maybe not everybody wants to. I think it's important to know, to what these kids are receiving and just what's out there. So we want to make sure people know that. The Hurd Scholarship, we had 4 students get $500 there. We've got tons of Legion scholarships where kids were getting anywhere from $1,000 to $500. And then we had the Scarecrow scholarships are huge, giving away, I think it was 1, 2, 3, close to 5,000 in between the different ones. We just have the Masonic Lodge, the Jason Arnold. We have so many opportunities in this town that I think kids don't realize. And some years, not a lot of kids apply, and we keep pushing them and pushing them. And so you'll see that a lot of kids there'll be a small amount of kids that get a lot, and people are like, well, this is no fun, and there must be something not going on here. Why is only a few getting it? And that's just because even though we push and we send emails and we constantly communicate, not a lot of kids will always follow through. This year was different. This year we had tons of kids getting scholarships, and not just tons of kids, but kids that deserved it for all the things they've done, and then kids that really needed it, and then just lots of great things. Something that we've been adding to is we've been trying to reach out to families to say, tell us what your kids are getting from the colleges they're going to, because that's another thing people forget about. We had last night 5 kids that got between $2,000 and $3,000 from SMC. We had 10 kids getting, because of LMC being free, all their books were covered. We had 3 girls going to St. Mary's that each had $100,000 or more for their entire time they're given to them. The student going to Full Sail got $44,000. Our students going to Central got $24,000. Our students going to Western, $16,000. Wayne State, $24,000. And then this Michigan Achievement Scholarship, which is a newer one, you have to fill out your FAFSA, and it is needs-based. We had 35 students who can receive up to $24,000 as long as they follow through with it. So we just try to communicate as much as we can to these families so they just know what's out there, because it really is crazy, you know, what we have. So kind of to sum that part up, we had 42 students receive a scholarship that notified us, not counting the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. 25 of those 42 received multiple scholarships. 8 of those students received 4 scholarships. 2 students received 5 scholarships. When you add all that up, like I said, we're closer to $2 million for our seniors. And it just makes me realize how lucky, like I said, we are to live in this community. When you hear Michael, who works at Gateway, talk about, because he has to go to Cass and Brandywine and Niles because the Gateway's all over. And no one matches our community. It just amazes me how the people of this community, some people, we know many of these people are not around, or their families aren't even around here anymore, but the investment they've made for our students, Scott being one of them, all right, with your scholarship. And we just appreciate what people that have graduated from here or had a connection here do for our kids. We're very lucky. Also, last night, tying into that, I did want to, before I hit on a couple other things I wanted to show was there was students received recognition for blood donors for life. And I just got to give a shout out to Mrs. Holock, because we have one of the most successful blood drives in Berrien County. Every year, they keep wanting to come back, and people keep trying to sell us their blood drives. Please take us, please, Buchanan, take us in as your blood drive group. And like this year alone, we received recognition a few weeks ago as pretty much, I don't know, I'll just say we're the best. We got $1,000. Mrs. Holock got $1,000 for her blood drive work. Wow. And it's just amazing what she puts in and what these kids do. I think we definitely had over 10 kids get blood donors for life. And I'll be honest, I give my blood at doctor's appointments, but I usually don't hear because there's so much going on. And to see all these kids that are starting this so young, it's really nice. We also awarded a lot of CTE things last night. We had, wait, let me count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had 6 students awarded CTE Students of the Year. And that doesn't mean just our programs. That could be they attend any program in Berrien County. For example, we started a new program this year, electrical, which has been very successful. One of our students was named that program's CTE Student of the Year, but they were recognized. We had 3 students finish all the way through the Math Science Center. They were recognized last night. I know that's not always easy. A lot of kids will start it. We'll get in that 4 to 6 range every year. And it just, who holds out to the end? We had 3 hold out to the end this year. We had 2 students that were recognized for this, it's hard to say, the Registered Michigan Readiness Pre-Apprenticeship Program. I think this is something Mark Fry started this year. It's kind of a thing that they've passed some certifications to kind of prove they are ready to jump right into an apprenticeship. So it's kind of just a new thing that if they work hard and pass some stuff, and I'll give the shout out, it was Marley and Jarrett Seddon, Marley Hines and Jarrett Seddon that earned those. We had 6 students earn certification recipients, which means in some CT program they're in, they became certified in something. So we had 6 students earn that. And we have a couple of those that I know we're going to, where's their competition at? I'm trying to remember where Russ is taking them. Is it Tennessee? They've earned recognition where they're going to compete in some competitions, computer-based stuff in Tennessee. We had 26 seniors in the National Honor Society. That was a huge number last night. They get to wear their National Honor Society stole. We had 10 students who have a 3.25 or 3.5 cumulative. That's an honor student. They will have a gold cord. And we have, which kind of usually it's the other way around. This was a huge number this year, but this is a very good class. We had 44 students who were recognized as high honor, which is a maroon and white cord for 3.5 and above. So that was pretty amazing to see. It was almost too many people up here. We got to figure out what we're going to do if this keeps happening. And then we ended with 11 in our top 10. So 11 students in our top 10, 1 salutatorian, Josie Place, and 3 vals, and I didn't write it down, but I'll remember it, Jacob Kuntz, Hunter Harrington, and Jack Sherwood. So we had an amazing end for a 2-hour and 10-minute ceremony, and I really just wanted you guys to just hear all this stuff, because if you're not there, you don't watch it, you don't realize how lucky our kids are here, and how great how the accomplishments our kids do here in Buchanan. You know, we're a small town, small school, you don't always hear this stuff, but we want to make sure you heard it. And the last thing I want to say, because this, I know Trish gave kudos, but Trish is a big part of this too, is that when she mentioned that CSI thing, Trish, Reed, our BVA people, Aaron, people from RISA, that was a lot of meetings and a lot of work for how many years? And you know, and it was hard because we really actually were doing really well, and to have to be off that was, sometimes you're like, man, this is a lot of work for something that but they put it in every week and a lot of time, and just kudos to them to do all that to get us off of there, because our BVA students, I don't have the number in front of you, but I think we have the most BVA students we've ever had walk at graduation to this year. So it'll be a great night on Thursday with no rain, I hope.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Any questions?
No, thank you for all you do to keep everything straight. It's a lot of work.
You're welcome. And I wanted to give a shout out to anybody from Ottawa too, and Stacy, because we moved 2 years in a row. Mrs. Dennison has had the bad luck of having her Pride Pass be rained on. And this year we went into the competition gym, and I'm glad we did, because it was bigger than it was last year, and it was great. And our kids had a great time, and I like that little tradition that was started.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pruitt.
All right, one more presentation tonight, and this is our Lacey Payne with our proposed social studies curriculum.
Good evening. I'm so excited to be here. It's a tough act to follow with all the wonderful things that are going on. We are going to be presenting some of the other additional work that we've been doing around an adoption for our social studies proposal. So I had a whole team of people. Several of them are here tonight. They will have their turn coming up and presenting our proposal to you. The biggest thing that I wanted to communicate through that process is this is not a process that Lacey Payne did. This is a process that I did with a team, a core of people. They had a voice. We put tools in front of them. They did the work. They rolled their sleeves up. They met after school and spent time, sometimes on their own time, really digging into this work so that they could make a really informed decision in preparing our curricular resources for the future. So I'm excited to be here to share their work with you tonight. I'm going to process through a little bit of that with you as we go through. One of the biggest things that we want to think about is what is our objective within the social studies department. And we really want to be able to foster an understanding for history and geography, economics, and their civic responsibilities in developing the ability to think critically and to have a cultural awareness as they develop as young adults and into young people. And it aims to help students understand themselves and their places in the interconnected world. And just like we saw that close-up experience, that comes out of the social studies department, and there's a reason, because we want to make sure those kids are getting hands-on experience with the history around them, and what better way to do that than to visit our capital. We wanted to take what we had from our objective and develop our own goal, and that goal is to empower students to think critically, to lead with integrity as respectful, engaged citizens who take pride in their work. And so that's really at the center of what we were doing as we were processing through each of these documents. As we were doing that, we were also like, what's our focus area? What are some of our non-negotiables, our high priorities? And these things are listed below, and creating, choosing high-quality instructional materials, creating more of a hands-on experience. Close-up experiences are like that, but what can we do in day-to-day in the classroom to bring history to life for that students and make it relevant to them? Supporting growth mindset and student engagement, curricular resources can do that, and it pulls some of that workload off the teachers. Teachers are engaging, but it's always easier when they've got materials that make that process easier for them. And then deepening understanding of social studies and, of course, developing critical thinking in our students. We always want to keep at the forefront of any decisions that we make the strategic plan for the district. So our mission as a district is leading with heart, learning with pride, and empowering students to succeed each day. And our vision within that is to strive to prepare learners academically to think critically, prioritize their well-being, and emerge as respectful citizens who lead with integrity. We're going to see this coming up over and over and over again, and we want to keep it at the forefront so that we know where we're going over the next 5 to 6 years. So one of the things that, as we look at curriculum, we want to make sure that we are choosing a curriculum that aligns with content expectations and the frameworks that have been put forth by the state. And so that is part of what we did. Where are we at with our standards? Does the curricular resource align with our standards? Michigan uses the C3 framework, which also has the arc of inquiry within those dimensions. And so that was really, all of our resources that we looked at aligned, but it also is something that we have to keep in mind as we're reviewing. The C3 framework and that arc of inquiry has 4 different dimensions: developing questioning, planning of inquiry, applying discipline concepts and tools, evaluating sources and using evidence, and communicating conclusions and being able to take a stand if students want to in their lives or around their environment, in their community, to have that ability to think critically and then take a stand for what they believe in. It's important that we're developing those skills within our social studies classrooms, and is part of what the state is helping us to instill in our students. And so we wanted to just give you an overview of these are things that we were looking at and keeping in mind as we were selecting the source. The other big thing that we were considering was that high quality instructional material. And this was something that was new for our teams, not because they don't have good tools in their hands and they haven't been working really hard. This is a fairly new concept for us to really analyze resources for this specific thing. And so we went through, what do we currently have? How does it align with a high quality instructional material? And what are we looking at as we dig into a different resource? And does it meet these standards of expectation? So we spent some time educating ourselves around these components of a high quality instructional material, and then making informed decisions based on that. We narrowed, initially I put 3 different resources in front of the staff: TCI, which is through Teachers Curriculum Institute, Savvis Learning Company, which is My World, and also McGraw-Hill. And so those were the 3 that we were looking at in a very tight amount of time. So that's the other thing I want to really give kudos to the team, because I think I came onto the scene late this year, mid-year in December, and then just being able to get the resources and process through this, they did this a lot of work in a very short time frame. So those are the 3 that we reviewed. I'm going to introduce Katie as she tells you a little bit about how we decided within the K4 space, and then each of our members will come up and share their concepts.
Hello, I am Katie Dietrich. I'm a 4th grade teacher, and I am here representing my fellow elementary teachers. So I'm just going to share a little bit about the issues that we have currently and how this will help us in the future. So one of the issues is we have outdated texts. So we talked about some of these books are from like the 1950s or 60s. And granted, we don't use those specific books all year, but there are components in those books that are not relevant to today's cultural landscape, if you will. So that's really important, I think, as that alone is super important. Gaps in K4 vertical continuity. So now we're talking about K to 12, like that's amazing. And the curriculum like flows and ebbs and brings things back. So it's really designed really well for that. Lack of hands-on engagement. We don't really have an inquiry-based curriculum right now, which is where you start off with a question. And the kids are really getting into it in terms of thinking critically, like, well, let's all look at this picture and talk about it and discuss how do these 2 images compare. You know, I actually taught TCI in middle school for a while, and I loved the curriculum, so I'm really excited that we're trying to move forward with this. But it's very engaging, so it's very, very engaging. It lacks the hands-on engagement, high teacher prep burden, that is a big one. You guys should have seen how excited the teachers were when we got out the materials. Everyone was chit-chatting and, oh my goodness, look at this, it's amazing. All the colored maps in there, and the students can write right in the book. And then it also comes with all these digital images and activities and things. So very, very nice product. So let's move on to the next slide. How specifically will the new curriculum improve student learning? So kindergarten through 4th grade will be using the same curriculum, ensuring alignment, and it is, oh, I'm sorry, thank you.
You can do it.
I don't have a clicker. I really want one for my classroom. I need one. Okay. So, yeah, and we're actually hoping to have kindergarten through 12th grade, so that's even better. Text will be updated. Materials will be ready for a new teacher to step into. So right now, you know, with our team, we're finding all these resources, and we have to send them to copy, and we have to, and if a new teacher comes in, they just, I mean, we have a pacing guide, but like we're picking and, you know, cherry picking things. So it's just really nice. Like it's all there. It's all there, all put together. So students will have access to online and paper text copies. TCI is a hands-on inquiry-based learning program that allows for time constraints. And we talked about that as a team because we really only have about 20-ish minutes per day for social studies / science. And so we talked actually with Casey Macbeth about if we have like a formal curriculum, we might want to tweak our schedule a little bit so that we can kind of use that curriculum more, and it supports reading, literacy. So that was on that bullet point. And the last one says literacy integration. Social studies instruction is the most efficient way to build academic vocabulary required for advanced reading comprehension, which is true. All of that background knowledge, all of that vocab is huge, especially upper elementary and up into the upper grades. So yeah, that's all I have for you. And I'm going to introduce Monica Luke and Sarah Epping from the middle school.
We thought we'd tag team these, so I'm going to start with the first slide, which is our rationale. In the middle school, we currently have 3 different curriculums, 5, 6, and 7. 5th grade is currently using TCI, so they'll be having a bit of an update. I use McGraw-Hill, and then Monica's using Michigan Giants and with the digital open book and a Glencoe textbook. Our current curriculum materials are old and worn out. I know mine are from 2009, so my students weren't born yet. It was fun finding some of the CD-ROMs and VHS tapes that came with everything, which can be used as artifacts, but not quite used in the classroom.
The big TV.
Love the big TV. And then it's lacking in some of our 21st century skills. I know that we all have built inquiry into our curriculums. We had PD on it. I have a few different inquiries that the kids really enjoy throughout the year, but it is nice that with this TCI, it's built into the curriculum, and I'm looking forward personally to kind of adjusting some of the stuff I'm doing to fit in with that.
I'm excited to have a curriculum. I've taught in Buchanan for 17 years, and I don't know if I've ever had actual curriculum, whether it's social studies or ELA. So, for how will it improve student learning, I just jumped into this with so much excitement. There is so much accessibility for students with diverse learning needs. There's an entire differentiation toolkit for this. It's dual immersion in English and Spanish for English language learners who are Spanish fluent. Integrated language arts builds disciplinary fluency, vocab, and comprehension, and they just have so much information out there on TCI about all of the the ways it's accessible for students. And I made a comment early on that it had, like the color choices were very different. And I don't know if it was Lacey or somebody else, but they said it's to meet the needs of students who have color blindness. And that was revolutionary for me. I'd never seen that in a textbook before. And that just changed my whole mindset on the whole thing. Meet the needs of modern learners. It has flashcards, it has a video library, it has all these games you can play for review. It really targets our students where they need it, and it knows 21st century children. Digital platform mirrors the physical textbook. There's a lot of things out there where you're like, okay, if they had that in a digital aspect, that would be absolutely what I need right there. So with this, the teacher or the student can decide which way they need to go to perform the best. Online platform, like we said, student learning, multiple avenues, syncs with Google Classroom. If one thing's not working, go down another thing. I mean, it feels like it's endless. I mean, there are so many different rabbit holes you could go down with TCI to just find what you need for each student. So, it's very impressive. Any questions for us?
I was just going to say it's great to see your enthusiasm, both of you, and so far on this process. So
thank you. Yeah. Really looking forward to it. So, yep. And so, Mr. D, I think you are next up on the list.
Hi, I'm Mr. D from the high school. So we've been using the MI Open Book Project primarily the last couple years. We gave it a shot because there was some definite pros of costs of having this free resource instead of having to buy them, but they have no print edition, which we've learned through the pandemic and other things that kids need physical copies of paper in front of them sometimes. We can't just be in front of a Chromebook all day. They have like an exhaustion that comes with that. So we needed physical copies. We printed them, but it was cost prohibitive and they did not last long. It says 2 to 3 years, but I think that's probably being generous. It was more like 1 year, 1 to 2 years. So that cost savings went away because if you're having to reprint them every year or two, you're not saving any money anymore. Many of the links in the old books didn't work, so they gave you these resources to help, and then they weren't actually there. And it was difficult to navigate. And even in book form, like taking an online platform and putting it on paper, it's not a one-to-one thing. So it's not, hey, this is a textbook now, it's you have a printout of a web sheet. So there was definitely some issues. In addition, we had to flesh out a lot of stuff. It required a lot of additional prep on teachers' ends, which, I mean, that's part of teaching, so there's going to be some work, but having more databases and more resources with these new curriculums will be very helpful. For example, my old textbook had 2 sentences on the Holocaust to bring it back to stuff we've learned about earlier today, whereas I'm doing 5 days on the Holocaust, so it takes a lot of extra materials to get out there. So this new stuff will provide us with a lot of that materials for us. I mean, we'll still be doing that work, though. No textbook will ever fill all the gaps. We always have to be pushing boundaries and giving our kids the best. And the thing I think we're most excited about at the high school, though, is we have had limited vertical alignment in our department from 8th to 9th to 10th. We're all basically been doing our own thing, similar to our friends in the middle school, and I think it will benefit the school to get more vertically aligned using similar terminology, assessments, things, top to bottom. So starting off there, the thing we're most excited about, like I said, vertically aligned curriculum. We want to be able to have, same vocab that we're using, the same terms, the same type of thing, so it makes it easier for kids to access the material instead of like, oh, I got to learn how to be a history student in Mr. D's versus Mr. Johansson versus Mr. Wagner. If we're doing a lot of the same stuff, we'll be able to spend more time doing the learning and the work than the reteaching of how we do things ourselves. Also, it's integrated to the vocab and state standards, so it's made specifically for us. There's a lot of extra stuff for kids who are speak a different language. We can adjust readings for grade levels. different things like that to help us reach all different levels of learner. And the built-in assessments as well, once again, vertically aligning, so we're all kind of working for the same thing. We know what we have, instead of, I wrote this test, 5 years ago, and I've been adjusting it each year. Now we'll have a set database to pull these from. And probably one of the things that we'll probably appreciate the most in the future is it integrates with Google Classroom and the Chromebooks, which, that's, even though we still need paper stuff, those aren't going away either. So the more we can integrate them and make them easier for our kids, the better it'll be. So yeah, that's the high schools. Oh wait, I forgot, I got the AP. This is Mr. Johansson's realm, so I'm just kind of repeating his words. But basically the old textbooks, he just said they were very difficult for students to access, very pedantic language, long, scholarly, which we do need to push kids in AP, right? But you also don't want to push kids out of AP by making it too much, So the new book is supposed to be a lot more accessible for kids as far as like the type of readings they're doing, the length, the scaffolding and things that they might add to it. Let's see what else we have here. It also supposedly has better, preparation for the actual test, which is a huge part of why they're taking these AP tests, is to take those tests. Even though, that's not the ultimate goal of why we do them, it's not it is a significant chunk. So being able to prepare these kids to be successful to get that credit is also helpful. So yeah, I think the main thing for the AP is just they needed a better textbook, basically top to bottom, and we're glad we can help push towards that.
Wow, so lots of great things. A few more things that I'm going to highlight for you. So if you didn't gather already, the proposal is to have a K-12 TCI adoption, a Teachers Curriculum Institute, and we really wanted to have some, give you some of the rationale behind that work and why we selected that. Some big things are that it provides active learning strategies, that it's differentiated, that it's culturally responsive, that it's inquiry and literacy and integration are all within that, and it has this it's digital and it's flexible, but we also are going to be able to put print text in front of students, and that was really a high priority for us as well. As you may have heard kind of threaded through the discussion, is that it's important for us to have access for students. If we ever need to go fully digital again, we've got that as a resource, but kids read deeper when text is put in front of them in print. So we will be getting print textbooks for requesting, print textbooks for the high school, and the students in grades K through 6, 7, all have consumables, right? So 7th is consumable as well, where they actually, the text and their hands-on activity sheets are all built in right into the consumable so that they're interacting, they're able to annotate the text and write right on that, and each year they'll get new. And so we love that component of it as well. TCI is also known as the Company of History Alive, and that is why it's so intentionally designed to increase student engagement. It's built on providing diverse perspectives, strong literacy alignment, accessibility and differentiation as they described, and other key features include the really cool brand new this fall, Michigan-specific book for Michigan history, which is a really hard book to find when we have a specific content. Not a lot of publishers go out and generate textbooks specific to Michigan history. So we had 2 companies that offered that, and we're really thrilled about the new textbook that they have for TCI specific to Michigan. The images are really cool to be able to just look at those pictures and see, oh yeah, that's Holland, and that's definitely Mackinac. The kids will be able to have that experience across the state through the design of that book. So we are proposing a full K-12. I didn't realize I was really pretty proud of our teams and how this all came together, because that initiative was not something that I put in front of them. It happened organically. I did ask that each building had alignment, but I didn't ask that we had K-12 alignment. And each of the conversations, it really came out, well, what is the other building doing? We want to really build off of what the other buildings are doing. And so it intentionally happened through the work of our educators that they wanted, as it was expressed, for that cohesion and for the students to have that ability to build off of what they already knew, and they didn't have to learn the new textbook, they didn't have to learn the new assessment style, they could just display what they know from the instruction, and that was really important to the team. The transition is gonna be much easier. The curriculum's intentionally spiraled, meaning that each section gets a little bit harder intentionally, so that the kids can build that critical thinking and that citizenship, that ability to take a stand. So, here we are, and one of the big things that we wanted to share is the cost breakdown. So TCI will be a 5-year adoption for our, I should say K-12, sorry, that is a typo on there that I didn't catch in all the things that I was looking at. So it is K-12. That's a $200,000 request. They do provide, within that cost is a $40,000 discount. That's the TCI gratis. And then we are also requesting for AP government books. Right now he has one book that he prefers to teach out of, some other books that are a little bit above student readability levels, and so it's going to be, he was really excited that we could include AP government in this proposal. And we are also requesting some ancient civilization Nystrom text that we currently are using. It's harder to come across ancient civilization maps and whatnot, so that's an inexpensive, great addition to that space. And so Monica requested that, and I think that is a legitimate request for sure. And then TCI also provides ongoing professional development for free. They believe in developing teachers. They're a teacher created, that started originally with 3 teachers that then developed into this large curricular company, and they believe in developing teacher capacity. And so on-demand PD, whenever we may need it, it comes for free. So that is another really nice bonus to selecting this product, is that we have that ability to lean on them whenever questions might arise. They will initially do a PD at the beginning of the year to kick off, and then after that it'll be on demand as needed. So a total of $206,131.66. And we're wondering if you have any questions for us.
I think I have one question. When it talks about teaching from culturally diverse perspectives, what does that mean? I mean, I saw what they were saying, but what does that mean?
I think so. Way back when, I also taught from this curriculum, and the students oftentimes will take on different perspectives of different people from history and get a little better understanding of personal experience. So like if we were learning about the ancient Incans or the Aztecs, they were actually learning enough about those cultural experiences of the people of those time periods, and then interacting with each other, experiencing the silk trade or experiencing trade in the Incan civilization, and just really getting an idea of reenacting what, that's that part of that hands-on component. Not only are they learning the history, but they're applying it through reenactment. And so it gives them those diverse experiences in that way. Does anybody else want to add something?
One thing I noticed was the biographies. They're not, so it has biographies about tons of different people. And they weren't all about the people you would normally expect them to be. There were hundreds of people I've never heard of, and when I clicked on them, they were ethnically diverse, they were women, they were minorities, from cultural groups you'd never have thought that they would have in a textbook that you would be reading in Michigan. And I thought that was really unique and something that was great for our kids, because of how undiverse we are in Michigan.
I'll just make a comment as someone that was a part of the committee that the curriculum committee. This whole process seems very, very well thought out and planned, and so kudos to the committee and to Lacey on this. I made the comment in that meeting that this seemed very well organized. When you know, I feel like we've adopted other curriculums in the past, And this seemed like it was very intentional. We understood the rationale why. We understood what the problems were. I think it was really helpful for you guys to be able to explain to us, these are the problems that we have with our current, and this is how we're gonna solve it with the new. I really appreciated that as a committee member, and so overall, I think this was a very well thought out process, and I'm glad to see the organization and the thoroughness of it, so thank you very much.
I just have a couple quick comments as well. First of all, I can't help but sit here and think that this meeting in its entirety is Mrs. Ryder's dream school board
Yes,
meeting.
it is.
Between the close-up report and new social studies curriculum. And then, secondly, also being part of the curriculum presentation and this committee, but just a more general comment about, I think, Buchanan teachers in general, both originally from being here all the way back to having Mrs. Ryder at one point in here and other great social studies teachers all the way through having 3 kids in this district. The teacher attrition statistics, burnout for educators is well documented for decades. And the fact that we seem to have a high percentage of teachers here that even, further into their teaching tenure continue to show, and like I used the word earlier, enthusiasm and motivation for their subject is pretty impressive. And especially as kids get older, that's really difficult to hide, especially in a social studies classroom. Like, kids can smell that within day 1 or 2 that their teacher doesn't care that much about social studies. And you certainly can't hide it for 180 days. So kudos to you guys for putting the work in. And, we hear about it from our kids too. So just know that.
Yep. So I am beaming tonight, not only like from hearing the close-up students, Mr. Pruitt's report, seeing the work that this team has done. I often share with Lacey, I'm just so excited because we get to go back to instruction, and having someone actually lead that is amazing, and then putting together this team. And ladies and Mr. D, I know it is not easy being part of this team, taking the time, doing the research, coming back with feedback, looking at all the materials. That's extra time that you guys have taken to choose a program that is going to be worthwhile for our students, and is touching kids K through 12. So the $206,000 is not a lot of money when you figure it out. It's about $130 per student, and that investment is well worth the money that we'll put into it to help our students be successful, going right back to that strategic plan, that vision, and that mission that has been established. So thank you all for your work. It is truly exciting to see when this is going to get implemented, seeing all the materials that are start coming in, and then looking at your faces when I come back to your buildings and seeing, and you get to pull me in. I remember I was at the middle school, and I think Mrs. Bender was like, hey, you got to come in here and see what they're doing on this science program that we have. And so I'm waiting to see that. I'll be excited to see what this looks like when it's actually implemented in your classroom. So thank you. Thank you.
And it did spark some really good conversations about schedules and how we're building in content area learning into our schedule. And so out of the meetings, we have had meetings about revamping the elementary schedules.
Mm-hmm.
So that conversation's in play, and it came organically through these conversations and the voices of the teachers. So I've met both with the Ottawa and Moccasin principals to, what are your needs, what are you looking for, and how can we intentionally start building that time back in? So that's on the docket too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's exciting.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks for everybody's time.
Thank you. Trish, one clarifying question, because you brought this up. This is a budgeted item, not a lot per person, but this was something that was included in our budget, correct?
So this will be, yes. So this is going to be through 31A will be the main funding source for this. So
yes, great, thank you. Nice job. All right, We are on to information reports and new business, starting with the bond oversight update.
But we haven't had any,
Yep,
on
we
my
can-
knowledge, no movement on that this month.
The one piece, we're still working towards identifying the architect.
Yes, and so what we'll do is we're gonna invite, instead of having a full RFP for that, we're gonna invite a number of groups to place some proposals, give some proposals to us, and then we'll choose that committee, the Finance and Facilities Committee will choose from that list.
Thank you. Next, we have our Parent Advisory Committee.
Yep, and I had my last advisory committee meeting for the year on April 28th. All the parents who were involved attended. We do have a nice graphic that we're going to share in the Bucks Bulletin. It may end up being at the last one that we share for May, for the month of May, but I was really excited about the group that I worked with this year. Very positive group, and most of them, if not all of them, wanted to make sure that when we open it up next year that they received an application to apply. So.
Next, we have our Human Resources Committee.
I'll take that one. So the committee met on May 6th, and we talked about some of the recent resignations. I don't think we had any retirements this year. I think it was just resignations. We have a new hire, and some of the open positions were what we discussed.
Next, we have our Superintendent and Buck Parent Conversations.
Yep, and I held my last one for the year, May 6th, and I was at Moccasin at that time. So really, these are open office hours that I go out and place myself in a building and allow anyone who comes through, teachers, parents, or whomever, who want to sit down and have a conversation with me or ask any questions. So, and those will continue next year as well.
The Facilities and Finance Committee on May 11th.
Yes, we met May 11th for the district. Trish, Phil, and David, and then Jake and myself were there for the board. Majority of that meeting was track and tennis updates, which are on the agenda today for approval. A few other minor projects, which probably aren't minor to the folks that are looking to get them done, but in the overall scheme of things, they're fairly minor.
All right. Next, we have our Emergency and Security Committee.
We met.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't have my notes in front of me,
Well,
but.
we met, we talked about the emergency operations plan that is being finalized, which will come to final approval soon. We also talked about Crisis Go a little bit.
Window wraps.
Big pardon?
Window wraps for the lower. Window wraps for the lower.
Window ramps, yes, we talked about that. And
BTM.
oh,
Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
I was like, I'll take it from here, sorry, I didn't have it in front of me. So we discussed in that, the Crisis Go and Phil Place was in there, so just different technologies with that they're working through to start implementing it. Behavioral threat assessment, so BTAM, it is a new law that's coming October 1st that we need to implement. And so Trish had some different things that she wants to touch on. I think we are a little bit ahead of the game with some of the stuff already. And so we will start working on that to get people trained, the proper people, I should say, the ones that need to be. And then we talked about just the fire department and just making sure they have the proper materials. And then we had CERP, which is cardiac plan, added into the EOP, and then just some different, the reports. What are those? The
Secure
Oh.
environmental
Yep.
consulting reports.
Yep, security reports. So just different security reports for different, on campus or whatever, just the different stuff. And then some of the implementation that we've done for the safety, with some of the grant money were the safety window screens that are been on all buildings, all entrances. And then in June will be the start installation of some more, right?
Yep.
Correct?
For the rest of.
For the rest of the stuff. So just keeping going on that. We did talk about too, with some of our safety plan, was just trying to implement some practices. And so we're gonna work on implementing those into our committee, just trying to see what we can do so we're a little more prepared as a district. So I think that was about it.
Next, our curriculum and programming committee. I think we might know one of the things on the agenda.
Yeah, so the curriculum committee, which was myself, Kelly, Scott, Lacey, and Trish, all met on May 14th. We talked a lot about the social study curriculum adoption that we just heard about. We talked about the ESL training and some committee recommendations. They were asking for our recommendations on some of that. We talked, got an update about the letters training that's going to be happening in the coming year, and then also that we've submitted a grant to help with some of the ELA adoption.
All right. Finally, the school farm advisory.
And I will take that. So we just had our meeting this last Thursday. I'll get it right. Time's flying by. So we just discussed some of the wrapping up for the end of the school year, different field trips, different curriculum for that. We talked about there is a piece of the curriculum we're trying to figure out for when Jared comes out to the school farm. We're a little outdated, so we were talking about a smart board with Miss Dennison. She was just trying to figure out some stuff to try to help him better, put out the information. We, as a board, came up with, maybe having some pre-sheets done for him. We talked about a whiteboard that could be moved, magnetic, a projector, just some easier stuff, cost effective, because I think the board was a little worried to invest in a smart board when, they didn't want technology to be outdated by the time we used it. So we've been talking with Miss Dennison and kind of on an email, right? I was like, we're kind of on an email just talking about trying to get it just easier for Jared to present the classroom portion. We also talked about maybe teachers doing it in the classroom more than before they get out to the school farm, but we really want them to do it at the school farm. So we are trying to get that set up to proper deliver the curriculum to the students. We talked about our maintenance list, what needs to be done, just prioritizing. We start working on things in the summertime when there's not students coming and we don't have a lot of stuff on our plate. And then fourth grade did their pancake breakfast. We were trying to do something different this year with having the pancake breakfast at the plow days be where kids could come, because it is a lot of work, and we thank you fourth grade teachers for doing and letting us do that, but it's a lot of work and it's hard at the end of the school year to fit it in. So we did try to do something different this year, but since plow day got canceled due to weather, we moved it back, and thank you for generously offering us to do it again and having us do it. It went well. I made the pancakes this year. I think I'm got down pretty good and smelled like grease when I was done, but they all turned out good. I didn't have any complaints, so that I'm happy about. So anyways, just we keep having our monthly meetings. We are looking for new membership, so we might put something on the district website and just put it out that if you know anybody interested in agriculture, the farm, we are looking for more members for our board. So thank you.
All right. Next up, we have the public comment section, and I don't believe we have any cards. No one here for comment. So we are going to move right along to the adoption of the consent agenda.
I move that the Board of Education approves the consent agenda for the items of, as presented within that consent agenda regarding regular minutes, recommendations for hire, and resignations.
Support.
Okay, any questions or comments from the board? Thank you for those that have spent time with us and are moving on. Roll call.
Mr. Carlson?
Yes.
Ms. Brackett?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin?
Yes.
Dr. Burnett?
Yes.
And Ms. Berry?
Yes. Next, we have the recommended action items. So the first one is the Buchanan High School 2026 graduation certification.
I move that upon satisfactory completion of district requirements for high school graduation, the Board of Education hereby approves the graduates as listed on the attached roster to be certified for graduation, and further authorizes the administration to prepare diplomas to be presented at the 2026 commencement ceremony.
Support. Oh, gotcha.
Quick draw.
Yeah, gotcha.
All right, questions or comments from the board?
Congratulations. Exciting.
What they don't know is that they officially graduate in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True, very true.
All right, go ahead with roll call.
Mr. Carlson?
Yes.
Ms. Brackett?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin?
Yes.
Dr. Burnett?
Yes.
And Ms. Berry?
Do I need to abstain?
No.
Yes. Just hit me.
Nope, you're fine.
All right, next we have our BVA graduation certification. And this is that long list that Mr. Pruitt mentioned.
Yeah.
I make a motion that upon satisfactory completion of district requirements for high school graduation, the Board of Education hereby approves Buchanan Virtual Academy students Aiden Alexander, Merrick French, Ava Weldy, Angelica Gibson, Brianna Lewis, Nova Panzek, Olivia Goins-Meek, Christopher Dorton, Jaden Brown, Xavier Whipple, Nevaeh Nowick, Thomas Wayman, and Michael Collins, and Buchanan step-up student Elizabeth Prince.
Support.
Thanks. All right. Questions or comments?
Another congratulations to all of them.
And we'll go with roll call.
Mr. Carlson?
Yes.
Ms. Brackett?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin?
Yes.
Dr. Burnett?
Yes.
And Ms. Berry?
Yes. All right, next we have our Berry and Risa operating budget.
I make a motion the Buchanan Board of Education adopts the following resolution, whereas this board receives the Berry and Risa General Fund operating budget following the Berry and Risa Board meeting of April 13th, 2026, and whereas in accordance with Section 380.624 of the revised school code, this board must now adopt a resolution expressing its support or disapproval of the proposed Berry and Risa General Fund operating budget, and must submit to the Berry and Risa Board any specific objections and/or proposed changes to the board, changes the board may have to the budget prior to June 1st, 2026. Therefore, be it resolved that the Berry and Risa General Fund operating budget for the 2026-2027 school year be supported, and that the Secretary of the Board is hereby directed to submit a copy of this resolution to the Secretary of the Berry and Risa Board of Education, along with any specific objections or proposed changes to the budget.
Support.
Questions or comments?
No, looking through them, a lot of supportive programs that go in that support all districts in Berrien County, but Buchanan specifically, so it was nice to see them in there, so, and they'll continue.
All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Carlson?
Yes.
Ms. Brackett?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin?
Yes.
Dr. Burnett?
Yes.
And Ms. Berry?
Yes. Next, we have our, sorry, make sure I'm filling the right ones, our social studies curriculum adoption. All right.
Mrs. Berry, we're on the calendar again.
Oh, I skipped one, see, and I even looked at what I was doing. I marked it off too early. Thank you. It's been a long day. How about the 2026 school board calendar amendment?
I move the Buchanan Board of Education moves to amend the following on the 2026 school board calendar. The regular board meeting scheduled for June 15th, 2026 is to be rescheduled to June 29, 2026.
Support.
Anything to add, or questions or comments on that?
No, this will, well, I guess I do have one. It helps us align better to the state budget. So by that time, we are anticipating that the state's budget will be, for the school aid fund will be approved by then, so.
We're anticipating.
Yes.
All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Carlson?
Yes.
Ms. Brackett?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin?
Yes.
Dr. Burnett?
Yes.
And Ms. Berry?
Yes. All right, I was so excited to get to it. Let's go to the social studies curriculum adoption.
I make a motion, the Buchanan Board of Education hereby approves the adoption of the following curriculum materials and instructional resources. Teacher Curriculum Institute Social Studies Alice, TCI, 5 years K-12, AP Government Perfection Learning, and Ancient World Atlas by Nystrom.
Support.
Is that right, Alice?
Atlas.
Nystrom.
It's supposed to be Atlas.
The first
Atlas.
top one.
Yeah, that top one, Social Studies Alice, is that correct?
No.
Atlas.
Atlas.
Ah, that makes more sense. Alice did not make sense, and this is Alice. So, Teacher Curriculum Institute Social Studies Atlas, TCI, 5 years K-12.
Jake seconded.
Support.
Thank you.
Okay, no, that's fine. It was listed as Atlas as a part of it. So, what? Okay, so let's make sure we've got this correct. So it's the Teacher Curriculum Institute Social Studies, TCI, 5 years K-12, AP Government Perfection Learning, and Ancient World Atlas by Nystrom.
Got it. Remove that. Now support it.
Re-support.
Thank you.
Re-support.
Re-support. Okay.
Good catch.
Yep.
Questions or comments?
No, thank you for everybody's time, for presenting, and all your hard work getting us here.
And roll call.
Mr. Carlson?
Yes.
Ms. Brackett?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin?
Yes.
Dr. Burnett?
Yes.
And Ms. Berry?
Yes. Next, we have our 2026-27 budget public hearing date.
I make a motion the Buchanan Board of Education adopts the following resolution. Whereas the Uniform Budget Act requires the 2026-2027 budget to be adopted prior to July 1st, 2026. Therefore, be it resolved that the public hearing for the 2026-2027 budget will be held during the regular board meeting on June 29th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the Buchanan High School Library.
Support.
Questions, comments, and roll call.
Mr. Carlson?
Yes.
Ms. Brackett?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin?
Yes.
Dr. Burnett?
Yes.
And Ms. Berry?
Yes. All right, next we have another exciting one, is the bid approval for the high school track.
I move the Buchanan Board of Education approves the recommendation to accept the bid from Pro Track in the amount of $280,900 for the Buchanan High School track project.
Support.
Any questions or comments?
In my 5.5 years, this is the this issue is the second most common thing that constituents have reached out to me about. And third place is a far cry from number 1 and number 2, and this is just second place. Just a little trivia for you guys tonight. So happy to be voting on this.
And I think another piece is that we had received a $100,000 donation to this project a few months ago. I don't know, it could have been last month at this point, but, so it's really nice to have some going towards it.
Support, yeah.
All right, we will go ahead with roll call.
Mr. Carlson?
Yes.
Ms. Brackett?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin?
Yes.
Dr. Burnett?
Yes.
And Ms. Berry?
Yes. All right, next we have the letter of agreement for the English as a second language training.
I make a motion that whereas the Buchanan Board of Education and the Buchanan Educational Association have reached a mutual agreement regarding English as a Second Language, ESL, training through the Michigan Teachers of Tomorrow program, be it resolved that the Board of Education formally approves the letter of agreement.
Support.
Any additional information or questions?
This is another exciting piece added. So Lacey arrived here in December. So two big things that have come out of this department under her leadership. Figuring out a way, how do we provide the ESL services, knowing that we are required to provide this. For years, we've had one person in our district who has been doing their best and trying to do the plans that are required and also trying to provide services. We just have not been able to do that. So having Title II having this approved through our grant dollars, we're able to have some teachers who have said, yes, I want to receive this certification and be able to have a really strategic way to provide the services to our students who need these services. So we're excited about this as well.
I think it was, what, 7 teachers, 6 teachers?
It's 5 teachers that are approved.
Is that 5?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good.
All right, roll call.
Mr. Carlson?
Yes.
Ms. Brackett?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin?
Yes.
And Dr. Burnett?
Yes.
And Ms. Berry?
Yes. All right, next we have the bid approval for the high school tennis courts. Did I skip one again?
Nope.
Oh,
I move the Buchanan Board of Education approves the recommendation to accept the bid from Pro Track in the amount of $164,140 for the Buchanan High School Tennis Court project.
Support.
I did not. Did I need to?
Yes.
Correction, from Pro Track in the amount of $164,140, $160,140 with a $4,000 discount for the Buchanan High School Tennis Court project.
You still have my support. We did receive a $20,000 grant for this. I don't know, Trish, if we'll have to, I don't know if that's been publicly released on who that's through or not, so.
It was just approved at Friday's meeting. So no, it has not.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that in the points of pride to be determined in a future month.
Yes, there you go.
But we were awarded $20,000 grant.
From a Source TV
Yeah.
announced later.
I was just
The number one constituent complaint that I've gotten in 5.5 years by just one constituent has to do with the Buchanan tennis courts. I'm sure we can all figure out who that individual is, and he will be very happy, hopefully, if we are about to support this. So.
With that, any additional questions or comments? And we'll go with roll call.
Mr. Carlson?
Yes.
Ms. Brackett?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin?
Yes.
Dr. Burnett?
Yes.
And Ms. Berry?
Yes. All right, next up, a board policy update.
I move that the Buchanan Board of Education approves the following policy update 5209, student use of wireless communication devices.
Support.
This is the new law. starting with the school year next year. So we wanted to make sure that we could get this board approved so that we can roll this out and communicate information to parents at the end of the school year this year so that they're aware of what will be expected of students and of them starting this upcoming school year. So.
Okay. Any additional questions, comments? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Carlson?
Yes.
Ms. Brackett?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin?
Yes.
Dr. Burnett?
Yes.
And Ms. Berry?
Yes. Sorry. Next, we have a closed session. This is for a student discipline reinstatement hearing.
I move the Buchanan Board of Education moves into closed session for Section 8B of the Open Meetings Act to conduct a student discipline reinstatement hearing for student number 80674092231 at 7:35 p.m.
Support.
8:35.
No,
7:35.
7, you're right.
You got it right.
All right, roll call.
Mr. Carlson?
Yes.
Ms. Brackett?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin?
Yes.
Dr. Burnett?
Yes.
And Ms. Berry?
Yes. We are back. So I will make the motion that the Buchanan School Board of Education resolves to return to open session at 8:13.
Support.
And roll call, please.
Sorry. I'm still reading. All right, Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Ms. Brackett.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin.
Yes.
Dr. Burnett.
Yes.
Ms. Berry.
Yes.
I didn't say Ann. Sorry.
All right. Now we are on to agenda item student. Sorry. The Buchanan Board of Education approves the recommendation to reinstate student 806-7409-231, effective for the first semester of the 26-27 school year, subject to the following conditions. 1, the building administrator or designee will conduct check-ins with the student to monitor behavior and academic integration. And 2, zero tolerance for major infractions, including but not limited to physical aggression, intimidation, or verbal threats. Any serious disciplinary infraction which, after readmission, may result in permanent expulsion.
Support.
All right, and with that, any questions or comments before we move to roll call? All right, roll call.
Mr. Carlson.
No.
Ms. Brackett.
No.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Ms. Lesh, no. Dr. Carlin.
No.
Dr. Burnett.
Yes.
And Ms. Berry.
No. All right. With that, we are done with our agenda items. And any questions or comments from the board?
Congratulations to our upcoming graduates this week.
This is a victory lap this week. It feels great to hear all these great things going on in Buchanan. The buzz is great. Everyone's feeling great. This is our victory lap. We got some projects starting. This is it. This is great, great week.
Yep.
Well said.
One thing that, just to put it in public, because they don't get to see that in our board report from food service. Judy Heckathorn from Moccasin,
Yes.
kitchen manager, was recognized for 25 years of food service work by the Michigan Department of Education. Long time serving up meals. So, and we thank her for her service. The other thing we had between last meeting and this meeting, the kids went to the State Science Olympiad competition, which we had them here. And we didn't have a ton go. It's prom day, so it gets dicey with the older ones. I think 8 went. It's a long day. They left at like 5 in the morning, got home about midnight. I think our best finish was 18 out of mid-70s. We had a lot in the mid-20s. I'm sure they want to be higher, but they're not broken into divisions like athletics, so we're competing against Ann Arbor Pioneer and others that are big, and those big schools have Science Olympiad as a class. So they are building and testing and building and testing and focusing on the Science Olympiad tests that they're going to take there all school year. And so realistically, we probably will never win multiple events at the state competition, but the kids seem to have a good time and realize what it's like to compete at that level with other students that are involved daily in that stuff.
And get to see a collegiate campus, which is a great exposure for them.
I just wanted to say that I heard there was like some unique, weird snowstorm that happened at the high school. It was really white on Friday. But when I'm here, there's like not one bit of evidence, so I guess I missed it. But I heard it was really pretty.
Yeah. Some of us are not very happy.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see any evidence of it, so I don't know what happened.
I think that's a good point. This year, experiencing a senior, I think our school does a pretty amazing job of recognizing them and their accomplishments. So thank you to the staff and administrators that make that happen. And hopefully the kids take their experiences and lessons with them and go far in life.
Make Buchanan proud.
Yes.
our fearless president is probably going to be mad that I'm about to say this, but we did have a board member's student be nominated for the South Bend Tribune Athlete of the Week. I think it was, Chris, is that right? It's the Athlete of the Week?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how that turned out, but I think it's pretty exciting that Buchanan, that's not the first time that's happened for Buchanan student athlete, and I think it's a testament to not only our athletic programs, but the fact that we have coaches and people in the community that nominate our student athletes for that type of thing, I think is pretty cool. So congrats to Reese and everybody that's part of process like that, because it's nice to be recognized both academically and athletically.
Along those lines, we've got some kids going to state for track, so another exciting time, so.
Yeah, regional champs, right?
Tennis, too.
Drove past my
And
house
tennis.
at
Tennis,
10:30
yeah.
at night.
16, yep.
How appropriate that tonight's votes were about track and tennis.
Yeah.
Did golf?
Good.
Did golf do?
No, they won either conferences or regional.
Yeah. Might even be another.
Yeah. All right, our next meeting is June 8th at 6 PM in the library. BHS library. We are adjourned at 8:20.